Hello everyone, how are you? I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Welcome to my channel, The Last of Us 24 and new video your favorite series, The Last of Us. It was 2014 when the first adaptation of The Last of Us was announced. Screen Gems, the studio behind all of the Resident Evil movies and also dozens of other horror films, was going to bring The Last of Us to the big screen. Of course, that never happened. Instead, the movie eventually ended up becoming a TV show that landed at HBO, and the rest is excellent storytelling. The first season of HBO's The Last of Us is GameSpot's TV Show of the Year for 2023. Not only did it change the proverbial game by becoming easily the best live-action adaptation of a beloved video game, but it expanded the world in interesting ways and made us fall in love with new versions of Joel Hatelli. Played to perfection by Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey, respectively, this new living version of Ellie and Joel are an emotionally powerful duo. When you then include the characters who were greatly expanded on for the show, Bill, Frank, Sam, Henry, and Riley, for instance, this show becomes overloaded with incredible character work from everyone involved. Episode 3, in particular, stands out as one of the absolute best episodes of television in years. It took what is mostly explored only in notes and scraps of paper in the game, the relationship between Bill and Frank, and transforms it into one of the most loving and tender storylines in modern TV. In a world as bleak as what's on display in The Last of Us, it was refreshing to see such a wholesome love story blossom and thrive through the apocalypse. Those two characters were able to live their lives as they liked, enjoying the quiet and comforting embrace of their home while the world fell apart around them. It's not just a single episode that makes The Last of Us our show of the year, though. Instead, it's a series that seemingly did everything it could to appeal to fans of the series, while also reaching out to embrace those with no knowledge of the world. It used its pilot episode to expertly drop viewers into the horrifying situation at hand, and spent the episodes that followed faithfully recreating many aspects of the original game, while throwing in enough twists and turns to keep us from getting too comfortable. Now, looking forward, we aren't sure what to expect. Will Season 2 bulldoze right into the second game, or will it tell some of the stories that surely happened in the years between the two games? Whatever happens, we hope to be as riveted as we were by Season 1. A week ago, Naughty Dog announced that its most ambitious project had been cancelled as it was taking too many resources, and it didn't want to become a solely live service game studio. Now, it wants to focus on single-player narrative games that have defined Naughty Dog's heritage. The Last of Us multiplayer game was supposed to be an important title for the studio, but it's probably never going to be launched now, and it's a pity because it sounds like a great game based on what its developers are saying. Some of them went to social media to say their goodbyes and express disappointment. For the technical designer Nathaniel Ferguson, this TLOU multiplayer game has been the highlight of his career and a very special project. A sad day, but very bright horizons ahead for sure. Loved every minute working on this project. Long live The Last of Us Online, added Naughty Dog's associate producer Abigail Tan. For game designer Carl Morley, it was a great learning moment that taught him more than any other in his career. He had more fun playing this game than any other MP game before and since. What high praise! I wish we could get a glimpse of what we're missing now, although I can predict the comments already. Speaking of comments, the company turned those off, so I guess the heat was a bit too much to handle. It's never easy to have a game cancelled, but I'm so proud of my studio and everything we accomplished on this project. Less than 3 big shout out to my combat QA and dialogue teams, said dialogue director Kat McNally. Of course, the reaction to the news was not all bad. Some fans were glad Naughty Dog decided to pour its attention into single-player games, doing what they do best. However, The worst part of the situation is the people who'd spent years on the project that will most likely never see the light of day. Find the announcement here and join our 80-level talent platform and our Telegram channel. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn, where we share breakdowns, the latest news, awesome artworks, and more. Sony has been launching some of its best games on PC in the last couple of years, and 2023 saw the troubled PC release of TLOU2. This makes us wonder, when will The Last of Us Part 2 come to PC, if ever? With the recently announced The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered, which is coming to PS5, players are hopeful the improvements made will also have the PC in mind, and maybe the PS5 Pro too. Loving gaming? Listen to our podcast, One More Life. But as we said, TLOU2 did not have the most graceful launch on PC, and was plagued with bugs and technical issues that could give developers Naughty Dog pause for thought. The colossal success of HBO's The Last of Us adaptation and the upcoming Season 2 may just be the nudge they need to get the game out there on as many platforms as possible. Naughty Dog did cancel The Last of Us Online, though, to better focus on their single-player games, so hopefully they aren't spread too thin. Will The Last of Us Part 2 come out on PC? While there has been no official announcement, we think that The Last of Us Part 2 will release on PC in Q2 2024. As The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered launches for PS5 on 14th January 2024, we think Naughty Dog will want some extra time to ensure any potential PC version is in tip-top shape before shipping it, to avoid a repeat of TLOU2 PC. A Q2 release window would put it somewhere between March and the end of June 2024. Sony typically likes to release on their own console first, before they grace PC players with the pleasure. But seeing as TLOU2 first launched back in 2020, we don't expect a huge delay between the PS5 remastered version and a possible PC release. The Last of Us Part 1 released on PS5 on 2nd September 2022, with it coming to PC on 28th March 2023, an almost 6-month wait. But TLOU2 and 2 share much of the same underlying technology, so the gap could be smaller this time, especially seeing as Naughty Dog has worked out most of the kinks in TLOU2. Of course, this is all speculation and guesswork. We'll update this page with any official information as and when it is announced.